But then, what about secularism?
People are too eager to present themselves as secular these days, at least the educated elite. Their support for religious rights of others, particularly the minorities, is laudable, but that is not secularism. Recognizing the rights of others is not something that the religious person is exempted from. In any case, secularism is an ideal for a state, an organization, or an institution, not for an individual. Only a state or such entity that so decides needs be secular, that is, equidistant from all religions, and uninfluenced in its attitudes and decisions by religious beliefs and practices. It is not necessary for its citizens or members. How can all individuals be secular? If you are brought up in or belong to a religious tradition, you are naturally closer to that than to others. From your formative years, you have absorbed its colors, sounds, tastes, smells, and made sense of the world and of life in it from the specific image of truth that was first presented to you. You may question, challenge, rebel, reject, and even dissociate yourself from it, but it has become an important, deep-seated reference already. A character in a modern-day classic says dispassionately, "It is a curious thing how your mind is supersaturated with the religion in which you say you disbelieve." If all citizens were secular, it would be a state without religion, a state where nobody followed any religion, because if they did, they would be influenced by it. Religion, or any belief for that matter, should influence one's attitudes, decisions, and one's life. Else, what's the point of holding that belief? For an individual, it is important to be a good, law-abiding Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christian, Buddhist, Parsi, Jain, Jew, or whatever faith anyone professes or considers oneself part of. If none, it is just as good to be a law-abiding atheist or agnostic. And mind you, those are also belief systems. And all these models or propositions should be treated as no different from those that believe or do not believe in aliens or spirits or other worlds as yet unknown. So all need to be compassionate, fair, and understanding, and be guided by the common collective good. What is necessary and important for everyone is to not be prejudiced against and be respectful towards all individuals, irrespective of their philosophies of fulfillment or their faiths. And faith is not to be made into a private, dark, secret, invisible matter or practice, as seems to be happening among some urban and educated young people currently, who are only not talking about their deeper beliefs and hiding their dependence on or attachment to those belief systems to cope with distress. That is not secularism. On the other side, many young people have, understandably, left the religious space and its moorings, but found no other. So many of our most talented, our sharpest minds are groping in that void. And how many of those we loved and celebrated actually lost that battle to the resultant depression, and we are the poorer for their loss. We cannot abandon faith or place it in false gods or chase bright dreams with unrealistic goals which locate themselves in the very heart of darkness. At the same time, we cannot hide faith, whatever its nature, in such deep recesses within us that it is stifled. It should be out there in the open where it can breathe and evolve. Only it is extremely important that faith, or even the rejection of it, does not threaten, intimidate, oppress or hinder the everyday life of even a single individual in any way whatsoever. Strangely, those who are opposed to or scared of religion, as well as those who support it, and those who want to mediate and keep peace between both sides, all often lean on platitudes like all religions are the same. No, sorry, they are not. They are different and competing ideas, belief systems, and worldviews, sometimes born of conflict with or a reform of ideas existing at that time. All are complex and constantly evolving. Now, from a simple believer's point of view, it would be impossible to have faith if he or she thought that his or her own system or worldview was imperfect, or that of another was better. Followers of religions are, therefore, wittingly or unwittingly led to believe deep down in the superiority of their own faith, or perhaps a concordance with their own and at least an unfamiliarity, if not strangeness, with that of others. Else, faith becomes impossible to sustain. You can't belong or subscribe to a lesser faith or even an inferior idea generally. Of course, such a view is fraught with danger and difficulties. But what are we to do? Live in denial? Should we make it a one faith world? That attempt has been made over and over for thousands of years and is still being made by some people across religions. Or should people abandon their faiths, or even faith altogether? Do the large populaces of the world, still ruled by illiteracy and poverty, still struggling with basic survival, ignorant of really critical issues, have the wherewithal for that? And will education help them cut that cord? Where shall we dump history? Can science and art become new religions? Or will economic development, the new mantra, override faith? And what will it replace that with? Consumerism feeding on desire and pursuit of material in a free market economy? Should we make these the new gods and religions? And can they deliver? The masses do not come to religion seeking truth. Truth, as such, does not even give hope, say the wise. It may give some understanding. What people come seeking is salvation. As long as there is pain and suffering, disquietude, uncertainty, or even a sense of unsatisfactoriness arising from trying to hold on to things and states of being that are constantly changing, what the Buddhists call dukkha. As long as there is dukkha, there will be religion. Historically, religion has provided individuals with a moral code to live by, a purpose to live for, and a society to live within. True to a liberal spirit, if we want to eliminate religion, we first have to find a compelling idea that will appeal to all, provide a value system, purpose, and community, and answer, or at the very least address, all those accursed but still unanswered questions. Who or what are we? Where do we come from? What are we here for? Why is there suffering and death? I suspect that we may never find the truth, but we can give meaning to our lives only by anchoring the experience of being alive on as stable and as broad a foundation as we can. And in that, religion sometimes has some valuable and imaginative suggestions to offer.